This morning we made some coffee and it is time to talk. So the topic for today is fasting and growing younger. Can you grow younger with fasting? Intermittent fasting. Some signs say yes. Do I know? I don't know. I'm trying it. Let's see if it works for me. Either way, it's helping me take my weight off, making me feel better. It definitely gives you energy. That I know for sure. So intermittent fasting, I think people need to look into that. You don't need any diet pills. Sorry, let's talk about the hair. I call myself doing a curl, flexi rod curl. And it was in for almost 24 hours. I moisturized the hair, the locks first. And I went out for dinner yesterday and it rained right on it. But I'm rocking it anyway. Still love my locks. Anyway, back to fasting. I've been doing it for probably a year and a half now. And right off the bat, I never was a breakfast person. So I think I was kind of doing it already because I never really was a breakfast person. I only did breakfast when our so-called diets told me I had to do breakfast. So breakfast was never something that I had to do anyway. So that kind of made it a little bit easier for me to transition into the 24 plan that I use. So, and then if you're working all the time, sometimes you skip lunch, whatever. So again, I'm already missing 2 meals already, which changing into this plan, or I call it a lifestyle change, works for me. Let's take a sip of coffee. We haven't done it yet. This is the first, so we get to taste it together. Yes. Love this coffee. It's still a little hot, but yes. Let me put this down as we talk. So, back. My lifestyle was I was skipping breakfast. I was already skipping lunch, depending on what your work schedule was like. And when you got home, you were so hungry, you just ate until it was time to go to bed. That's where I was at the beginning. I was close to 370 pounds. So I was like, okay, well, and I didn't lose all this weight from just intermittent fasting. This is what I know to help me continue my weight loss. Plus, I think it's a life change for me. I don't think it's a diet. But to each his own, words are what you want them to be. Words are very important, what you put out there, so be careful what you say. I don't call it a diet, I call it a lifestyle change. That reminds me every day, this is something I am planning to do for the rest of my life. And it is hot. But anywho, good sweat, good. Moisturizing the skin, that's how we look at it. So the transition to like the 1 meal was kind of easy, but hard too. So what I started with, which most people say when you go into intermittent fasting, that you probably usually start with a 16 hours fasting and then an 8-hour eating window. That's how you get your body used to it, and you can kind of shift those wherever your work schedule's at. But the one I chose, when I go into something, I go in hard all the time. So I chose the warrior one, which is what it was called at the time. You can call it whatever you want. I have a fasting window of 20 hours, and I have 20 hours, and I have an eating window of 4. For me, I found that would work for me. My eating window is from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. I always have been a eater at night. Just before bed, you're looking at TV, you're doing something, and you're kind of munching. So it was the perfect window for me because that's when I mostly ate anyway. Because if I'm busy doing something, I'm not thinking about eating. Like I said, I could be out like on a Saturday doing some shopping. Who can tell me you can do shopping? You can go the whole day and shop all day and forget about eating. So we could all do it. We do it sometimes anyway. Especially if you out there partying on the beach or whatever, and you almost went a whole day without eating anyway. So, let me get back. So when I said, okay, let me find the right window, it worked for me. I'm usually home by that time. Also, if I'm going out and it's time for a happy hour, when do happy hours normally start? 6 o'clock. Sure, I had to pick that window so I could still do my happy hour when I need to do it. So that worked perfect for me. Now, it's the second part of finding the right window is finding the right food. Because you can still mess up with this if you choose to eat the wrong foods in that 4-hour window. But you still have to kind of monitor your calorie count. You have to kind of still burn up what you're putting in. So I had to kind of look at what worked for me. I used to do the Atkins diet, or the low carb diet, which was how I first started with the low carb diet, losing weight. Also getting off my butt, but we can have another video for that. So what I ended up doing was I put down what I like to eat, because I was already very little carbs anyway. I always try to cut out with breads, pasta, stuff like that. So I was kind of already doing those things, low carbs. So and then you hear, then I went from Atkins diet, got his foods and plans stuff. You lose weight, but eventually most people plateau. Sorry to distract. Most people plateau, and I think with anything, your body will adjust and get used to it. So sometimes you have to shake it up and do different things. But we can, like I said, I really want this one to be how I started the intermittent fasting. I think I'm gonna make a series on how I transition and to get where I'm at now, which I'm at the point where I can start trying to just maintain my weight. I think I'm at a key spot which is good for my body, and I need to now work on strength training and flexibility. But back to this topic. This is just how I started. I will have another part on as we go on. So this will be part 1. So once I got to the window was, I think, is the first part you got to start on. You have to start with the window. So your first part is to find your right window. After the window, so my next thing was the foods. So you really got to be careful on your foods. It could be a little bit flexible if you want to get some of the vegetables and the carbs and stuff in there if you want, but it will slow down what you're trying to do. So I would say you're still going to be that very low carb with your eating window, which is, for me, 4 hours. So I was like, okay, well, that's easy. So just for like the first couple of weeks, you got to get used to that. So I just made sure I didn't come out with making sure meats were grass-fed and all that. I was focused on whether I can maintain this. I have an eating window I gotta get used to. I now have to get used to doing that eating window only in that window and not be starving during my 20-hour fasting. Your body got to get used to that. So those are the 2 first parts of weight loss, healthy, just being healthy. Just say being healthy. It's not around weight. It's around everything. Because I want to also talk about skin and what we put in our food. That's why I say first you find your window, then you find. You definitely have to start whatever your plan is, which mine was already a low carb plan, but you really got to start with cutting out the carbs, that processed foods and stuff like that. So that's your first 2 key points. On my next video, I will talk about the other key points, because I don't want to make the video too long, because I can go on forever. So, so part 2 will be more or less now focusing on actually what we're eating in that eating window. So join me on the next one, and let's just have another sip of coffee. I'm telling you, even with the felling curls, I still like it. But my hair, I noticed before I even got my hair locked, even when my hair was natural and even when it was relaxed, my curls never last all day. It's like they just, I guess my hair just limp. I can put it on for days and whew, sitting curls, sleeping curls over the weekend, and then turn around and within hours my curls just drop. But I also think it's also because of my little sparklies on them too, to kind of make them heavy. But that's all right. Like I said, I enjoy my hair right now, and I got my hair up. Hope you watch my video about what I do for my locks. I do love them. And another thing I never mentioned, I'm trying to also embrace my gray. I used to henna my gray. Now I said, well, I have to kind of just let nature do it. Well, I have more gray on this side, but I don't have as much as some people think, or much as I have seen other people my age. They have more gray, or it's all gender. But I don't. That's most of my gray, and I'm 53. Most of my gray is just right here. And I used to henna it. I used to every 6 weeks henna it. Like, you know what? Let it go. Because I always thought it was going to be that yellowish gray. I didn't want that. But actually, my gray is pretty white. So, let's say cheers. And this was a good coffee with C. Let's one more sip. Should be perfect now. Yes, it is. We got to do one more. Ooh. Okay. 4 S's for this year. Stress-free, simplicity, serenity, and smile. Enjoy yourself. It's a new day. Bye-bye.